Stampers, Jackie Bolhuis from Klump & Stampers in Zeeland, Michigan. And I am here today to give you a few tips and tricks for putting together the cards in the Little Piggy card collection. Now, if you got the card kit, all your pieces are pre-cut for you. If you did not get the card kit but just got the PDF, all the instructions for doing your own cutting are listed there, so I'm not really going to talk about that. But what I want to do is show you a few tips for watercoloring and doing these fun cards. Honestly, guys, I don't think there's ever been a cuter card stamp set in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. I just love these guys. And I'm not a real cutesy kind of stamper, but oh my goodness, I love the little piggies. So let's just go ahead and get started with card number 1. Now we are using shimmery white cardstock for this. When you're watercoloring, you are going to want to use either watercolor paper or the shimmery white. Our regular Whisper White and even the Whisper White Thick just is not made to take water, and it'll kind of fuzz up and beat up, and you won't get it won't look good. The other thing that is very critical when watercoloring is make sure you are using a permanent black. The Stampin' Up! Archival, okay, if it says archival on there, is perfect for watercoloring. But also make sure once you stamp it, you give it a few seconds to dry. Okay, once it's dry, it's totally permanent. We can put all the water on here we want without smearing that black. But you certainly don't want that black to smear into your colors. So we have him all stamped, it's dry, it's ready to color, and the way that I like to watercolor is just using my ink pads, and I just squeeze them. Before I open them, squeeze them, and then flip them open, and you will see how I have ink on the lids. Okay, my pads usually look pretty darn messy, but that's okay, that means they're being used, right? And then I use an aqua painter. Now, if you've never used an aqua painter before, it's basically a paintbrush, but it has water in the chamber here. So it's going to flow down into my brush to just give me that nice watercolor look. Now, when you first start using it, okay, you're going to want to squeeze it just a little bit. I mean, not a whole lot. I'm just squeezing right here, and I can double check and make sure you can see I'm getting water out of it. Okay, that's a good thing. That's what we want. So we're going to just start with our powder pink, and I will, kind of mix in a little bit of water here just to get a nice paint color. It's a very light color, okay? And then as we paint, we're just filling in little Mr. Piggy here. Okay, if your color's not moving around very well, that means you don't have enough water, and just give this a little squeeze. Get some more water in there, mix a little more water in this. Okay, make sure, I always forget his little arm out here holding the flower, and there. So we have him colored there. Now the key with an aqua painter is when I'm going to switch colors, what I want to do is just scribble on my scrap paper here. That will get that pink off before I go ahead and go to my next color, which let's go ahead and use Pear Pizzazz. The other thing you want to be a little bit careful of when you're watercoloring is making sure you let one color dry before you do another color right next to that. And that's why I did the pink on here, but we're going to come back in a little bit and we're going to put this kind of blue background in there. But we want to make sure the pink is dry. That way they won't kind of mix together and blend together. So there's our green. Oh, as long as we got green here, let's put a little bit on our leaf, and you can even put a little bit on the stem there. Then again, we're going to scribble on scrap paper. See the green coming off? Get it all off. We will pick up a little bit of our melon mambo here and color in our flower. Okay. Remember, watercolor does not have to be perfectly in the lines. Okay. I guess I don't have yellow. You can put a little yellow dot in the center of your flower if you want. Now, let's see. As long as we got our pink going, I'm going to make sure I have it watered down pretty good here because I don't want it real dark. Okay, we're going to kind of test it. Okay. And then let's just go ahead and we're going to put a little pink up here in his cheek. Is it a he or a she? I don't really know. If you get too much, you can even dab it off a little bit with your hand. Okay, then if we want to, and I didn't on my sample on this one, but I did on the other ones, I mean, you can even put a little darker pink in its ears and his nose. Just play around with it. Okay. Oh, you know what? We totally forgot his tail. Let's come back here to the light. Make sure we get that cute little tail. Okay. Now we're going to make sure it's dry, and then we're going to move on to our soft sky for our sky. Now this is one that I've always struggled with until I learned a tip that I want to share with you. You always see people that do gorgeous looking watercolor, and they always have this real kind of flowy blue or gray or something kind of outlining the image that'll make it really pop. And I struggled getting that to look good. So I'm going to show you the tip I learned, and maybe it'll help you as well. So first off, we're going to make sure our brush is clean. Here, we'll get this one out of the way. And then what you're going to do is just start with water. Okay, so I'm gonna squeeze a little bit too, and I'm going around him. And again, I made sure that the colors that I had previously put on here were dry. So I'm painting with water, and let's see, I don't know if you can see how it's wet kind of around them. See the shine there? Then we're gonna pick up this soft sky, and you can see as I kind of I'm kind of scribbling, I guess. See how we just kind of scribble in there? And because it had water on there first, that's what kind of helps it flow. Okay, that was my problem before. I felt like it just didn't flow and blend. And that's it. And you can see if we can get a good look on there. It's very soft, it's very subtle, but it does make a big difference on your card. So let's look at our finished one again. And you can see we painted it. Then this is embossed with the brick wall embossing folder. If you don't have that one, by all means substitute something else. It's really just all about texture. I wrapped the baker's twine around it before I put it onto the card and layered this with the dimensionals, and then there is card number 1. And here we go with card number 2. Isn't he cute? Look at how we open it up and the pig's inside. So when it's closed, he's kind of peeking through. But to do this card, now if you did get the card kit, I did some of the work for you. In your kit, it's going to come like this, because I took the piece of the Wood Textures DSP and I adhered it on here, and then I cut it out with the circle framelit to get the hole on there. So that part is done for you. Okay? And then you're going to just have to score it and fold it. Okay, so our base is done. Then you're going to take your circle, stamp your pig on it, and this is going to layer with this fun little scalp on there. Now the only watercoloring I did on this one is, we'll take the pink here, let's get our blue off, and I did add a little pink up here, okay, to his ears, and got to have a little pink nose. And remember, the more water you get, the lighter these colors are going to be. So as you put some water and pick up ink, you might want to scribble on your scrap paper to make sure it's light enough for you. Now if you want to, you could watercolor on there some more if you want, but that's all I did on mine. Okay, what we're going to do now is put some adhesive on here. So I'm just using my Fast Fuse. It's kind of my adhesive of choice lately, and we'll stick it onto our scallop. Now what you want to make sure when you put this together is that he's peeking through, right through that circle. Is go ahead and put adhesive on the black, and then the easiest way to do this, to line him up where you want him, is I'm going to open up this card and I am going to line him right up where I want him in the opening. And then as I close it, okay, I can kind of press down, and voila, it's stuck to the inside. It's that simple to get him lined up so he's peeking right through our little hole in the front of the card. Just wrap the baker's twine around on there, tied it in a bow, and then in the inside I says thanks. Feel free to put other words there or whatever you want. This little piggy says what? So there is card number 2. And here we have card number 3. This one I had a lot of fun creating. I'm like, we just need to use all of these pigs. They're so cute. So the 2 pink ones plus the 3rd pink one on the inside, I stamped on the scrap paper. I watercolored a little bit, gave them their cheeks and their ears, and cut them out with the scissors. Unfortunately, there's no punch or framelits. I know, we're so spoiled. But then I also stamped another one on the white scrap paper. So that's that one, which is the same, the one that's flying with the wings. We have our little bit of words here on black cardstock. I just embossed them with white embossing powder, cut them out with the scissors. If you don't know how to emboss, let me know. I have a video that shows you how to do that. But now the key to putting this one together, if you notice, the front is shorter, okay? But go ahead, adhere your 3 piggies on the front using dimensionals. Just a little trick, because I've done this wrong. Make sure when you're putting this one that's over the edge, your dimensionals are underneath this side of it so we don't stick it closed. That's experience talking. So we get all of those on there, and then what I did, and I apologize, I don't have another one cut out, I just took this one for the inside, just like I did putting the pig through the hole. I held it, okay, right underneath here, just kind of matched it up with this one, and then closed it. That way it's stuck down there, so it's perfectly matched. So there is our card number 3. Now for card number 4, you actually have options. I have 4 different ones here. I just use different of the wood grain papers. Okay, if you got the card kit, your patterns are going to vary in your kit. And they're just watercolored like I showed you on the first one, but don't they just make adorable little note cards? These are the Stampin' Up! Note cards that come with the note card and envelope. So pick the image that you want. You create this card, or if you have 2 of them, however you want. If you do the smaller images like the hugs and kisses here, you might want to cut down, if you have the card kit, the white and the black to make it a little bit smaller, but I left it big enough that all of the images would fit on them. And then we'll just take a little peek. I did stamp on the inside, some of the other piggies with some of the other words. So you can play around all you want with these. So those are the 4 different cards in this little piggy card kit. I hope you have fun creating them, whether you get the card kit or the tutorial. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help you with all of your stamping needs. If you need to place a Stampin' Up! Order, you can always do so at klompenstampers.com. And again, just enjoy these cards. Have fun with the piggy. He's just so fun. So have a stamp happy day, guys.